First, we need to define disease if we want to speak about healing. And as I define disease is ignorance. You're ignorant. You don't know who you are. You don't know where you are. You don't know what's really going on at a big level. You barely know what's going on at a horizontal level. You don't even know if you live on a ball, a spinning ball, a plane, or a flat earth. You don't fucking know nothing. That's the truth. You believe in everything, but you don't know anything. So ignorance is the disease. And the process of healing is to be in a relation, to be in contact, to be in close proximity, and eventually to be a conduit of knowledge. Knowledge, not information. Knowledge, not mathematics that you play and you just play with numbers and masturbate with them. Knowledge is a power. It is a power stream. It is what your nervous system is supposed to channel. You can call knowledge God if you'd like. You can call knowledge truth. You can call knowledge love. It's a power. It is the power, the base of creation, because it is all-knowing. When we say that God is all-knowing, which means what? It means it's knowledge. Isn't that what all-knowing is? Absolute infinite knowledge. And absolute infinite knowledge is everywhere. It is called by many names in different tradition. In the Bible, it's called the Word. In different languages, they call it Shabda, Nam, Kalma, anything you'd like. It's a power of knowledge. And without that, you are doomed to ignorance. And therefore, you are sick and diseased. And this power is always happening. It's always passing through you. It cannot not pass through you because it is the very foundation of existence and life itself. So the disease is the ignorance of the truth. It is the ignorance of that this power is happening and it's circulating through you. And the process of healing is the process of removing what is obstructing the consciousness of that current, C. So there's nothing for me that healing is this. And even in this hard times, in this chaotic space, you're suffering. Why? Because you're ignorant. Now we have these people, they're in the middle of this battle, they want to fight this and that. Why are they doing this? Because they're ignorant. They believe in this. Yeah, but is your belief true or not true? They don't care. This is what they believe in. That's their God. So therefore they have to fight against this one. And they don't necessarily realize that they're being manipulated and they're being misguided, and this create controlled opposition, and it will create chaos, which will bring more problems. But their problem is ignorance. If they were not ignorant, they would realize that their so-called point of view is false. From a point of view is true. So we can salute them from their point of view, and we can have some compassion for them from their point of view, but your point of view is false. So what is it creating, your ignorance? Heat. Fear. You're scared of something. Now, therefore, you have to conquer it and demolish it, and the outcome is disease. This is it. And now, what you don't understand is that there are more intelligent ones who are not here, but here, and they can manipulate you like you put cockfights in Mexico. Tick, 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 tick. The cocks, do you think they know that they're having an arena around them and they're betting on which cock is going to win? Zero. They don't know nothing. They're stupid. They just respond like animals do. There's a cock, I should destroy the cock, and then they go attack the cocks. So this is what your average person is doing. So is the cock suffering because of the other cock, or the cock is suffering because he's ignorant, because he's an idiot? So then this is how your average person behaves. This may be you. You're ignorant. You really believe what you believe. Now, I'm not saying that what you're believing it's bad. I'm saying it's false. False, not it's bad. It's too small. That's what I'm trying to say. When a little child has a father and he sees his father, this is my father, I love him, he's so good to me, he brings food to me, he's nice, he's tall, he's strong. And this is all the child knows. Is this correct? It's not correct. It's not the truth. He cannot fathom what his father is able to do. So his understanding of father is, well, from a point of view, correct. But from a big picture, it's totally false. It's not total. And therefore, well, this is not the perfect analogy, but in our circumstances, your point of view is nothing but a point of view, and it is your business to see the whole picture. And if you are one of those fools who think that there's no such thing as truth, you're a moron. There is. And every single scripture that has any sense is telling you reality exists and it's your business to know it. You are living in it. So if you don't know it, it's because your mind is in the way of you perceiving it for yourself. So, again, For me, this is the most important. This is when I was in the height of my sickness. I've spoken to you about this in my previous sessions. I was at the height of my disease meaning ignorance. At the height of my stupidity, I was taking drugs which make you've like reached the pinnacle of dumbness when you're at this stage. Total despair, totally lost in darkness. And then I found a teacher, and what did the teacher give me? Did he tell me how I should live my life and how I should make money and how I should fuck a girl? Zero, none of this. He took me like this, he said, slapped me like this, he said, now look. And he showed me big picture. Because no, I'm not going to say this, I will say it later. It's like big picture. Why? Because if you don't see what's going on from big picture, you don't understand anything. How can a person who's staring at a tree like this ever imagine there's a forest? So that they can understand the forest has different parts and it is composed of trees, many different kinds of trees, all kinds of animals, all kinds of creatures, leaves and all kinds of things. And then there's a tree, and then the tree is made of like different components, and then there's the bark. And then the bark can be broken, and you know how geeks do. And then you're staring at this. How could you ever understand a bark unless you had big picture? You cannot, all you will see is this, and you will say this is the entire, this is this little rib in the tree, this is wonderful, this is magnificent, wow, and then you will start zooming like all these scientific geeks and try to go micro, to which you will get lost in infinite nothingness, and you will have nothing, and you will have understood nothing, because you are the incarnation of ignorance, and this is what your ignorance will do, more suffering, and this is your business. So anyways, this is an affair that make me really sad, I'm sorry. And so my function is to present big picture for those who have the capacity to understand what I'm saying. I hope this is you, and if it's not you, thank you for passing by. Have a nice afternoon or evening or day, whatever. No big picture, there's no meaning to what you're doing, there's no meaning to what's going on. Imagine you're an atheist, okay? Let's pretend there's such a thing as an atheist, because this is another falseness. So what are you seeing? Greedy people just killing each other for no meaning. Yeah, but if there's no meaning, how do you explain it? And how do you explain that you sit on the corner and you let them do this to you? If you're intelligent, you would go and try to put yourself on the winning side so that you can get rich. Of course, you will not do this because you're such a righteous person. But what is the point of righteousness in the world? There's no righteousness in an atheistic worldview. You're just an idiot. This is what you are. Because they're going to kill you and you do nothing. Trying to pretend you're righteous to fit in and pretend you're morally superior to other people. But morally superior, what do you gain? You don't even believe in a greater force. So there is no good and bad without a so-called greater force. Good and bad exists only in the light of an idea called God. Nothing else. And you go speak to the people who are committing so-called bad things. They're not doing bad things in their brains. They're saying, why should not do it? I feel inclined to do so. I have the impulse to do it. And if it was not for these bullshit laws that have been invented by men, I would do it, and who would stop me? Anyways, so I don't go so far and you don't get lost. Without a big picture, in my humble opinion, humans are doomed, and this is why the humanity is doomed, because they don't have big picture. Some people have zero picture, some people have a little picture, bigger picture. But look, go on YouTube. I spend my day, not my day, but a significant part of my day doing research, because I have to stay up to date on everything that's going on. And I have to listen to like 20 people, because each one is like so like geeky on one little fart in the big picture. And then nobody touched big pictures. Like this is the one that specializes on charts. His whole life is charts. God bless him, really. But all his life is looking at Bitcoin chart. Imagine. Analyzing the chart. And this is now breaking the 50-day moving average. Anyways, God bless people. I don't know how they do it. But if you're looking for sanity, you'll not find it by being a micro person. You really need big vision, and then big vision has to establish itself inside of you, ground itself in your body, and then it will start taking appropriate course and day-to-day actions that guide you towards harmony and peace, real harmony and peace, which is not based on what you believe, but what is. And you cannot have harmony and peace if you live in fear. And you certainly cannot have harmony and peace if fundamentally you feel that there is something wrong happening. How do you, if these are evil people, so explain me, my friend, if there's evil people. It's not that they're not evil or crazy, I didn't say this. I said, if there's evil people, how do you justify this to yourself? Where is your stupid God? I used to say this to my grandma. Sometimes she would get very upset. She was like a super Christian. I say, where is your God? Explain to me your God. Everybody's miserable and everybody's suffering. And this is at least the intelligence of a so-called atheist. It's like, where is your God? The world is in hell. Explain this. This is in less than 100 years. World War I was 1914 to 1918, if I'm not mistaken. So it's 100 years plus, 110 years, just rounding, 105 years. 3 world wars. Number 1, number 2, and now we're beginning number 3. Where is your God? I don't know where your God is, but all I see is people suffering, miserable, and more miserable, and the facade is increasing. So your God is clearly a concept, or it's a lie, or something you've invented. So this is your God. Continue to worship bullshit, or be like the Jews and continue to wait eternity for your so-called Messiah to come and save you. So at some point, you have to stop and ask the right questions. And this is clearly a person who is not asking right questions because you're a coward. I'm sorry to say, you're a coward. You don't want to ask the right questions because you don't have the courage to go deeper into the experience of reality and so that you can make sense of things. No, here you are having to believe in your so-called Jesus or your so-called Krishna, yet, oh no, but Krishna will come back and save you. Yeah, if you're Krishna, would you do that? Of course, because Krishna is all love. And Krishna becomes at every beginning of new age, and the new age of golden age is coming. Right, you do this, my friend. You do this. You keep on doing this. This is the bullshit we have to deal with. Nonsense, and people who live in fantasy land. I'm sorry, this is a sad affair. This is not how one achieves peace, with all due respect. Now, who am I to say this? I'm nobody, so don't worry about it. But I will still say what I have to say. Maybe what I say as a nobody will inspire you as a somebody. How about this? So, there's clearly, this is not a negotiation. There's obviously an intelligence at the base of everything. You don't need to be smart. You can call this intelligent by whatever name you want. So if there's an intelligence, and there's also an intelligence beyond this creation, so clearly there's intelligence. I call intelligence knowledge. So then it's our business, if we want to make sense of reality, and we want to find peace with it, to enter in dialogue with that intelligence so that it can explain to us, understand, overstand, and understand our condition and what's happening and why it's happening and where this is going and how come it's going like this, so that we can find peace. Because if you don't, you cannot rest on a current of intelligence. Then what do you rest on? Your own limited intelligence that can barely understand this much? Oh yes, the Bible. The same Bible you worship that has been manipulated a number of times, and at the very beginning of the Christian age, it was also manipulated. This is your holy Bible. I don't want to insult your Bible, but you're being silly and you don't think. And I will not speak about Quran because I don't want to die next month. So I have to say this, and you're not allowed to be a Jew, so that's the end of that for you. I'm sorry, this is all rubbish, and I find it sad. I find it sad that humanity is in such a state. This is my honest truth. I find it sad that people want to live in and hold on to their ideas. I understand also people are what they are, and people are programmed to be as they are. And you see what happens. You're programmed, so you're being manipulated as a programmable species. A little doggy, go there. Little doggy, do this. And then, you know how I get, maybe you don't know this, now you'll discover. And then when you have these morons on YouTube, you're on Google. Isn't Google owning YouTube? So you are on Google. Like, do you know what Google is? It's God, right? You're on God, which is, of course, a corporation that you don't own. Or maybe you own a stock, but you don't really own the stock. You think you own the stock, right? So you're on Google watching videos that are telling you the truth. Such as this video. So now you're watching video, you figured it all out. And then you have your uprise of wrath and despise and smitten against the elite. And then what will you do? Nothing. And they, of course, are crazy people. And they're horrible people. And they're sick people. And of course, you're the plenitude of beauty and joy. So again, people want to insult those so-called elites and they have no sense of things. It's okay, but so then what makes them do this? Have you ever stopped? Besides the fact that they're evil, why do they behave this way? It's greed, because you're disconnected from consciousness. Well, you're disconnected from consciousness because you think that they're disconnected from consciousness. Anyways, we can spin like this for a few hours. I think I've done my share of spinning. I hope you hear what I'm trying to say. It is your business to discover the bigger picture, and if you do not have access to the bigger picture, in other words, if you cannot see that there is a hand, maktoob, right? It says this in your little alchemist book, right? I'm sure some of you read this book, yeah, Paulo Coelho, huh? The alchemist. مكتوب كل شيء مكتوب حبيبي يلا كل شيء مكتوب bravo يلا it's written. Well, what does this mean it's written? And who has written? And how do you connect to the script? And of course this is a living script. It's not a Hollywood script, which is, this is a living script, it's alive. How do you tap into this? Not here. How could you allow it to pass through you so that you can find repose in it, so that you can flow in it? So now all these dualities, these seeming dualities disappear. The fear also disappears, and you realize what's really going on for yourself as a living, breathing human being. And through this, you still have to navigate, but الكلمة مكتوبة, the word is written, literally kalma, word, maktoob, written, الكلمة مكتوبة, the written word of the God meaning the supreme intelligence at the base of the entire creation. Well, how do you ride that written text? And of course, if it's written, then you're going to be right on the beat, right? You're not going to be like on the periphery of the beat where you might get chopped off by MP3, MP4, MP5. You're going to be like right at the core of it where you cannot ever delete that, because this is the foundation of the track. No matter how you have to crush it or crunch it or mash it, you're going to be always in that rhythm, my buddy, and nothing can delete you, and you could just ride that. And all you got to do is be healthy, which is why we spoke about health building, because health building is the capacity to flow the word, aka الكلمة, علشان هي مكتوبة. It is written. Now, if you understand this, good. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you don't understand that, go find a New Age channel and jack off.